Okay, shalom everybody. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. Try this video again because I tried to start it just a little bit ago. Let me pull this camera in just a little bit. Alright, so we're going to talk about the all and how important you and I both are in this earth realm and how it plays out in energy, or you can call it spirit. I don't care what you put on it. It's what you put out will definitely come back to you some way, shape, or form, in some fashion. We've talked a lot on this channel about words and how they will play out, and when you put your words attached with an emotion, that's two things agreeing with one another, and it goes out into the atmosphere, right? And somehow, shape, or form that will affect you, or it will get to somebody else who hears it, and something will take shape within that energy, whatever it was, and it will fashion itself, and it will become whatever you've created from that. So we're going to talk about the all, and there are 7 principles of the all. The first principle is the universe is mental. You and I have a mind, and so does the universe. We'll call it the universe or the heavens. I don't care what title, like I said, you put on it. It's whatever's up above us. It's energy, and it affects us. Like they say, the moon, it'll pull on the ocean's tide. We are made up of, I don't know, I think they say 70% of water. And so that's why many of us can feel when the moon's doing certain stuff, because it's pulling on the literal ocean tide. So why wouldn't it affect us, right? So that's why they say, you know, it's going to be a full moon. People are going to act crazy today. Yeah, because people really do feel that stuff. Whatever's happening up there really does affect us down here. And a lot of times that we forget that, and we're going through situations and we haven't realized that, well, I wonder what's happening up there, you know. And I'm not saying, you know, chase after astrology or whatever. Some people are really into that. I don't know a whole lot about astrology, but I'm fascinated by it. But I also, my belief, for me, I chase after the creator who created all of that affects us here, to go a little higher. At the same time, it's important to have knowledge of what's happening, because, like I say, a lot of people don't go by astrology, but they know their sign. They understand about the moon, and it being a full moon, and people act crazy on the full moon. So they have some type of a knowledge, even if they don't have the depth of really everything, how it all works and stuff, because everything really is connected. Really, really is. So the first principle is the all is mind. Right? And we've heard phrases like, wherever the mind of a person is, that's where it's going to lead you in your path, in your life. If you've got a really negative mindset, and that all also has to do with what's in your birth chart. You can go online and type in your birthday, and it'll give you everything where all the planets and stuff were placed in wherever they were when you were born, and that tells a lot about who you are. And we've got all these factors. No wonder the world is so complicated, because everybody's got a different chart. Everything's happening up above us, and that's why we've got to get our minds still. It's really important for you and I to have those quiet moments. Even if you're somebody who have, you know, a lot of children or whatever, just try to find, say, I gotta go to the bathroom, and just kind of close the door for a moment and get your mind straight, because it's important for you and I to have a sound mind. And because no matter what is happening, having an understanding of what's happening up there, we have power down here in our mind, in this realm, to change the situation. You can't change what is going on up there, but having an understanding of it and knowing that you've got power in here to change or manipulate the situation, pulling from a negative place up into a positive place, that's powerful information to comprehend because you and I are very powerful spirit beings that are just, in-house in this flesh here. So the universe, the heavens, everything up there, it is a universe. The universe is mental. Okay, so a lot of people use phrases like, I'm closing my eyes and I'm praying and I'm believing and I'm trusting. And really what we're doing is we are connecting to the heavens, and we're releasing a thought or releasing energy. And then after so many days, or sometimes you can release something if you're, whatever, hit the sweet spot, and you get an immediate return for whatever reason why that happens. But people liken that to I'm praying, or I'm just meditating, or whatever the title is. It's really, everybody's pretty much doing the same thing, which is fine. Call it whatever you want, as long as you're getting the results. You're going to get a result from it, positive and negative. Just be careful, because I'm going to get into some stuff here about vibration. I guess we've already kind of talked about. So the number one principle is mentalism. As above, so below is the correspondence principle number two. So the first one is your mental mind, your mental state, understanding that everything that's happening up here is also affecting down here, but that also connects to the second principle, which is as above, so below. And understanding that the third principle is the vibration of what you and I are sending out. If you're talking with someone, there's some type of a vibration or some kind of connection there that's happening, whether it's positive or negative, and in a moment something can change. People get upset, or they're happy to see someone, and the vibration of our vocals towards one another can move a thing or move a person in either a positive or a negative direction. Vibration, I've got written here that within vibration that there's nothing at all that's completely still. Even if you're just sitting still, your mind is always thinking. Even if your body is still, you've got circulation going on within your body. Our blood's going through us, thoughts going through us. I mean, we've got, the lymphatic system. It's about circulation and all that kind of stuff. So vibrations happening all the time. There's nothing that's completely at rest, though we use that phrase. Everything is moving. That's why it's important that you clear your mind when you go to sleep. I think I said the other day on one of my videos is that, yes, it was on Sunday's video, or whenever, a couple days ago. I don't know when you're finding this video, but a lot of times we have medical issues in our own body because we have not learned how to get the mind in a place to send out to the heavens, to the universe, to our Creator, those thoughts that I hate it when I see something in my head and I can't get it out. If you're always angry, and that's all the emotion that you just always send out because you've got this infested, yucky hatred on the inside, eventually, if you don't get that taken care of spiritually, it will manifest itself somewhere in the body. It just will. It has to. It's going to move somewhere, and it's like a pimple. Eventually the pimple it finally hits the head, right? And then it's like, boom, there it is. Same principle. If we don't deal with things in the spirit, we'll call it realm of the matter, then it will definitely, either way, it's going to come out here in the physical for us to have to deal with. And so you're still going to end up having to deal with it, but you're going to be dealing with it within like sickness or whatever. And so if we can just learn these principles of how to get the mind, understanding that the mind's constantly going and grabbing thoughts and throwing thoughts down and grabbing the correct thoughts and sending them to the universe so that the universe can send it back in a positive way so that it can come out here, and then you can create from that place good things to come to you, then that's beautiful. That's beautiful. It's beautiful for us to learn and to grasp a hold of. So vibration, nothing's at rest. Everything's moving all the time. Even the earth is moving, or we're told that it's moving. We've got groups of people that believe that the earth is flat and it's still, and I haven't been up that far to see. It doesn't matter what you believe. You and I are in this matter, and we're moving constantly, like I said, inside or out of it. There's movement happening. Polarity is the fourth principle of the all, and understanding that no matter what is happening to you, there's always another side. There's always an opposite end of whatever energy you are portraying or taking in or whatever. And it's I talked about the zodiac wheel and spokes within the wheel of the zodiac. So I'll just use my sign. This is Sagittarius. The opposite sign for me in the same spoke of the wheel would be Gemini. And I've talked before how when we're having a polar shift, polarity, a polar shift, I'm able to tap into that Gemini energy, and same goes for whatever sign you are within the spoke of the wheel. You're able to understand, and we're all made up of all the signs, actually. All the signs also represent certain things within our body. So Sagittarius energy is about the liver. Taurus energy is about the kidneys. Virgo energy rules over the shoulders, the hands, and the lungs. Every sign has something as above, so we can also found here. That's why you and I are connected. We're connected to everyone on this planet. If we've been born underneath that zodiac sign, there's some type of connection going on, and people are moving all day long, and we're moving, and thoughts are moving, and we're all connected. And even though you come across people who are completely opposite of you, that's why I say opposites attract. Well, we're all a part of that wheel, and we're all. I mean, if we all want to go and help one another, then we need to learn how to connect with one another and find the similarities within different personalities and things like that, because we flourish. That the earth is going to flourish if we do that. So everything has an opposite, and opposites are the same. They really are the same. Have you ever met somebody who said, God, so much alike that they're just... I've heard people say, yeah, they're just so much alike, they just don't get along. But they're so similar. It's sometimes like you're looking at something and you don't like what you see, but it's actually yourself that you're seeing. It's just something's mirroring back to you, something within your own self. Maybe something that you need to work on, you and I, when we see that or do that. I don't know why I'm going there, but for whatever reason, maybe somebody needed to hear that. But the opposites are the same. Anyway, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling a wall right now. The fifth principle of the all is rhythm. Everything flows in and out. This is really major because, like I was saying, when you close your eyes and you're sending something, or you're praying, or you're asking the divine, or you're just sending your thoughts, something definitely is going to come back. An answer will come back, good or negative, positive or negative. Everything has a rhythm to it. If you do this, I'm thinking in my mind, I'm seeing like water will flow, but when it hits the end of it, it flows right back, and there's a rhythm to that. So the same principle with thoughts. Whatever you're sending out in your thoughts, somehow, some way will come back to you. Or we can liken it to when you put something in the ground, like in a garden to grow it. It goes within, and then it'll begin to grow up. Everything will flow in and out of itself, and there's a rhythm to that, and there's timing. Timing is a rhythm. Music has rhythm. Have you ever listened to somebody who's playing and they're all on rhythm and they're all doing their thing, and then somebody comes in and then the drummer's off? It ruins it, and you can't find that flow. And so right here we're trying to find understanding how to flow in energy, in spirit, so that we get answers, so that you and I can learn how to accommodate one another and teach this to others, so that we have a better understanding of how our world really is operating, because everybody's on all these just different timelines and flowing here and flowing there, and you got people out of rhythm with people, and they're sending anger energy out, and then their anger energy is returning. It's just like the earth is a mess. It really is just a freaking mess. And that's why I'm teaching this, because it's so important that we all get in the same flow. We just learn how to flow. And if something gets off balance for whatever reasons happening up there, then we take the higher mind. So wherever your Jupiter is, because Jupiter represents the higher mind, right? And you learn from that. Jupiter's connected to the liver, to be able to live and to filter out. The liver filters as well, and understand how to filter thoughts, filter out anything negative, so that we can live correctly, and learn how to understand opposites, and learn how to realize that whatever's going on is up there is happening down here, because it's mental, and so are we. Our thoughts lead us and direct us in positive and negative ways. So everything has a flow, and everything will come in and out of itself, some way, shape, or form, and nothing's at rest ever. There's always the sixth principle. So fifth principle is rhythm. Sixth principle is cause and effect. Again, you do this, this is what's going to happen, right? Everything happens according to the spiritual law. And natural law works the same way. Like I say, nothing in this natural realm even exists outside of the mind. That's amazing to me. If you really just sit down for a minute and go, wow. Because I've said before, your home doesn't even exist without the person who had an idea of laying out the blueprint and writing it out before they even got started building it. It was a thought in somebody's mind. And so there's nothing that exists without first having the thought. And then that thought creates from that space. So then whatever you put into motion is going to have a cause and an effect by whatever it is you are creating. So everything happens according to that law in itself. Most people know that. They call it karma. They call it reaping and sowing. Cause and effect. So the last principle is gender. And everything has a gender. Either it's masculine energy. Sorry, that piece of hair is just bothering me. Either it's a masculine energy or it's a feminine energy. And you and I have both within us. We can come across really... I've portrayed it on my channel before, or we can come across just really calm, and I've portrayed that before, because you and I both have that within us, and both of those at any given time in anything that's happening, that's flowing back, whatever energy you and I feel is going to be the response, how we're going to attack that thing. And either send it back, because it's going to come back some way, shape, or form. How it, whatever's happening between you and I, it will come back. So that's why it's so important that you and I have this mindset of wanting to be, I don't really want to use the word gentle, but I do want to use the word gentle. Because I know there's some really masculine guys out there and just like, oh, I'm just not a gentle person. That's fine. That you are who you are. I'm not saying that you're not. I'm not trying to change anyone, but I'm just trying to, it's really not the word I really wanted to use. Even the most masculine person can operate in a softer manner. I mean, hopefully you're just not always like that with every single thing in your life. That's a sad thing, because eventually once that current hits the end of it, all it says is going to come back to you the same way. It is a law. It is a spiritual principle. That puts a fear in me. When I started learning this stuff, and like I said, I grew up in the churches, and they teach a lot of this stuff from a different, it's the same, but it's taught a little different, but it's still the same principles. So I was able to really grasp a lot of this stuff, but with a wider view of what I have learned through really taking the time and meditating about it. Maybe that's why I can forgive people. I mean, not like I've literally forgiven some really, and so have you, I'm sure, in your life, some really hard things. But once you grasp this, it's easier for you and I to pull back or rein back on certain emotions, knowing that, well, if I really direct my energy in a hateful, mean way, and my motive behind that is cruel, I absolutely know that some way, shape, or form is going to come back into my life. Even if it's years down the road, it somehow will find its way back to where it came from. So it's called the root. Well, if there's a root of something, that means something has sprung forth from that and exists, right? Even if you go back and make something correct, you're still pulling up a root of something. You've still caused an effect of that root being pulled up, leaving something empty there. I'm trying to remember what I said on a video that I did last night. I was explaining that, I'll just get real personal, because I know that I might just be talking to just a certain amount of people. That's fine. I was talking about a lot of things that are happening to me now in my life. There have been some things that have happened to me that I have just been like, where is this? Why did this happen to me? Where is this coming from? Because I know that I, have not done something in my recent years, within the last, I'll just say last 5-6 years, done anything to have this explosion that I've been experiencing. But understanding these principles and looking way back in my 20s and my 30s, things that I've done and even made right, corrected the matter back there, owned up to, sowing wild oats and stuff like that, they say when you're growing up, that stuff will eventually come back. Even if I don't care what organization you're in. We'll say church, because I was real big in church. I'm not down in church, y'all. I'm not. So please don't think that I am. Okay. But I can only just speak from where I came from. So things that I did back then and really repented, and I still ask the Creator to help me, and because I understand that we didn't create ourselves, and something created all of that, and I hear in my spirit things that the Creator talks to me about. So I know that there is a Creator and it really exists. At the same time, His principles never go away. And even though way back there I did something, and way back there I came to and apologized or said, Creator, please forgive me, or you can call it Lord, you can call Him whatever you call the Creator, the Divine, Spirit, whatever. Even though we can liken it to being forgiven, there's still cause and effect. Because these principles are whatever we send out, some way, somehow, you will experience, maybe not in the exact same way, but the emotion behind it, the energy behind whatever was done back then. You yourself will also find yourself going through situations and have an awakening to, because I've had moments where I'm almost like, where did this come from? But then go, oh, you know what? Way back then, I remember I did something to so-and-so. Well, I'm going to reap what I sowed and have to experience that in my own life as well. That wouldn't be fair. Now, if a lot of people wouldn't agree with that, but this is the truth. I can only speak from my own experience, but this is the truth. There are certain things that I just absolutely know that I did not do anything to deserve this. Why is this happening? And the Creator say, well, way back there, it's finally came back to the place. It's going to flow. Remember, everything is flowing all the time. There's always a beginning and an ending, right? And when it hits, and if we're talking about things flowing in a current and currency, and talking about words and their different meanings and vibration of words and phonics of words. I mean, this stuff is so deep, but that's why it's so important that you and I keep ourselves in a place of peace. Because I've said this before, that the word peace, P-E-A-C-E, if you read it the other direction, it's escape. And so that's important. Because if you and I are constantly in that, eventually all that is going to come back to you and I. It really is. That's why, we shouldn't provoke one another to anger in any way, shape, or form. We shouldn't go chasing after somebody to hurt them, because one day, some way, that's going to happen to you. Now, the Creator is able to protect you through it. Thank God. I mean, I've been protected through the whole way, but I didn't escape the energy that has come towards me because of years and years and years and years ago, what I sowed. Because we really do reap what we sow in some way, shape, or form. These principles are true. And I'm here to testify that they are. And I'm not saying any of this stuff to make anybody afraid either, because like I said on the video last night, you might be somebody who has really done a lot of bad things. That's where the Creator comes in, and grace and forgiveness comes in. Just get it right. For whatever reason, why you will find yourself going through the cause and effect from whatever type of seeds that you've sown. If you learn these principles here and now, you will find a lot of beautiful growth through your reaping of whatever's happened. You teach from that place. See, I'm teaching through this, even though I'm going through a lot of hard energy. I still find beauty within it, to try to turn a thing around, even within the mess itself, and still owning up to things that I did back then, and at the same time standing here saying I'm innocent because I didn't do anything in this moment with this group of people or whatever to have to deserve any of all of that. At the same time, I do deserve it because of, I hope this is making sense, because it's complicated, but it's not confusing, it's just complicated is what I'm trying to say. And if we would teach our little ones truly, and I know that they can't grasp all of it, and that's how we grow, is by going through things as well. But if we really can, that the adults can truly grasp this information and raise up a generation that really is taught these principles, and they somehow can be shown in a very tangible way, some way, shape, or form, through creation, through how things work, and then liken them to, well, that also happens within us by our attitudes and things like that. Our world would be a better place, but we're not really taught. We are taught to some degree, but to really pound this in us so that we can have a better world. We really need to get a hold of it right now, guys, because like I said, I see so much yuck in our world, and I've had conversations with people even just recently, and all that comes out of their mouth is just, I really try to get them to see things, but so ultimately it's each person, it's their choice on how they want to view the world. But I don't care how you view the world, these principles are true, and they will play out some way, shape, or form. But anyway, I just noticed my time. I think it only gives me like 31 minutes or something like that. So I'll go ahead and get off of here. Hopefully this gets your mind thinking and calming you down on some things, and changing your direction, your course in a positive way, and bracing yourself maybe on things that you need to either stop or begin doing in your life, so that even though whatever may come your way or not come your way, you have an understanding of why it is or isn't happening, and change it, and learn from it, and grow and teach from that place. And when we do that, we're successful. So anyway, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and until next time, shalom.